Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing a little bit more standard 2022. For those who do want to see some other content as well, I do hear you. We will be going back to our usual suspects of Brawl and Historic and things like that in due time. It's just that standard 22 is really exciting and it's a brand new format, and I'm honestly the most hyped to try it out, so really wanted to get as much content out for this one before it got solved and, you know, stops being interesting. You know how it goes anyway. But today we're going to be trying out a new deck. It's one that's already actually managed to establish itself in the format, which is really awesome, because it's a pretty sweet archetype. It is tribal, and angel tribal to be more specific. So, let's talk about it. This is Bird People. We get to keep a lot of cool little cards from, like, Kaldheim here, so Righteous Valkyrie is kind of one of the build-arounds here. A 3-mana 2/4 with flying. Whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness, and as long as you've got 7 or more life than your starting life total, so 27, creatures you control get +2/+2. The one upside of this deck is that they are quite hard to kill. The Izzet Dragons lists are currently running like Dragon's Fire, which can do it if they reveal like a Goldspan Dragon, but otherwise 3 damage burn spells don't do too much against this deck quite a lot of the time. We actually do run only 11 creatures here, but don't let that deceive you because we have many other ways of producing angels. The early game, for example, does have the youthful Valkyrie, and we also have some Resplendent Angels here as well, which care about creatures in the yard, but otherwise it's just a valued 3/3. You could probably swap this out for any number of things, but I like upping the creature count because, you know, it's a tribal deck. But yes, as I was saying, even though we're running only 11 creatures, we're actually producing creatures in many different ways. So this lovely little pile right here, I suppose you could even include Legion Angel because it allows you to reveal a card outside of the game when it enters. So we got 3 Legion Angels in our side, but otherwise no use for the sideboard whatsoever. So let's go down the list, shall we? We are running 22 lands, but we're also running 4 Emeria's Call here. So we're running a nice mana count. And if we get to the late game and this is our land drop, then we can just use the Emeria's Call side of things as well to create 2/4/4 angels for 7 mana. So pretty decent there. Rampage of the Valkyries. Now this is a card that I'm very excited to play around with because it was certainly unplayable in Old Standard when Kaldheim ran around, and that was disappointing to me. So finally we're in a format where this card is actually really good. 5 mana enchantment that makes a 4/4 when it enters, and it's a 4/4 with flying and vigilance. So the good kind of angel. And whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. So we've got some really nice creatures here that are hard to kill. If our opponent somehow manages to kill them, they also have to kill one of their own creatures. So it's a really awesome taxing effect, and I think it's super awesome value for most of the matchups you're going to see in the format right now. If we were a little bit less creature-orientated, I'm sure this card would drop off, since it is eventually in a creatureless matchup a 5-mana 4/4. But other than that, it's really awesome. It's pretty amusing for the mirror breakers as well. So if your opponent's running angels, then you end up trading and then they lose some. But if they've got a rampage, then you lose some and then they lose something. And it's a thing. It's a thing. Hopefully we get to show that today because it's pretty funny. We also have Furger's Retribution, or Fierger's. Furers? Maybe Furers? I don't know. It's all Norse stuff, isn't it? They've got weird ways of pronouncing things. 4 mana to create a 4/4. Again, really good value there. 4 mana 4/4 with flying and vigilance. Decent value. If it stays around on the battlefield, we get to the chapter 2, which says angels you control gain destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power. So we can get rid of 3/3s or less, which is a good chunk of the format right now. We could even get rid of 4/4s if we've managed to pump up our angels in some way, either via the Righteous Valkyries or the 4 Rally the Ranks in our deck, which might want to be 3 Rally the Ranks. I find this card actually just wins me a lot of games in the Angel Mirror, though. So, you know, I'm keeping it at 4 for now. It's not really done too much harm for me, but it is a do-nothing card for a little while. But this format kind of is a little bit more forgiving to do-nothing cards, which is nice. But anyway, If we manage to blow up our opponent's board with the Chapter 2 and get to the Chapter 3, all of our angels gain double strike until the end of the turn, which means our 4/4s are attacking for 8 in the air. There's not too much reach in this format outside of the Dragons format, Dragons deck, should I say, and even then, they will be badly blocking into all of our creatures, and we should be able to force an empty board with that kind of thing, which is awesome. We also have Starheim Unleashed, a 4-mana sorcery that can create a 4/4. Otherwise, you can foretell it for 2 mana, and then cast it for 1 and 2 X. So for every 2 mana you pump into this, X is 1. So for 5 mana, you can create 2 4/4 angels. That actually chains quite nicely with the Furious Retribution. I don't know what to call it. Because you can do this on turn 4, and then on turn 5, you've got the foretell to go there to make 2 4/4s. So you've got a 4/4 from this, and then 2 4/4s from this. So 3 4/4s in the air by the time that the double striking chapter comes around. It's really awesome. As far as removal and interaction is concerned, we have 2 copies of Flunk. This is a secret hit of the format, I think. It was starting to see a little bit of play, I think, in standard, normal standard. It's just super useful. 2 mana to give -X until the end of the turn, where X is 7 minus the number of cards in that creature's controller's hand. So this is basically only going to be a bad card in decks where card advantage is important to them, and that's usually just control matchups. So unless your opponent's running like an Imarith, Flunk should be able to hit just about anything you need it to hit, because we empty our hands out really quickly in creature decks, so that should be able to hit the most amount of things, which is nice. We also have Vanishing Verse for the things that it doesn't hit. This also hits absolutely anything for the most part that we want to hit, exiling mono-coloured permanents. So there is like Galazeth Prismari that doesn't get hit by this, but for the most part, mono-green Stompy being the top deck in the format means that this should be able to hit some very important cards, and only the multicoloured ones are going to be left behind, and hopefully either Rampage, Soul Shatter, or Flunk could take care of those. Speaking of Soul Shatter, it's a 3 mana instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. The main use of this card is to get rid of dragons. So in the case of Goldspan Dragon, that one gives your opponent a treasure when it gets targeted. Soul Shatter does not do that. That means that you can let your opponent on turn 5 play their Goldspan Dragon. They assume that they've got the 2 mana to cast their Saw It Coming that they've foretold, for example. And then you Soul Shatter them, they're tapped out, and then your turn 4, you can slam either your Furious Retributions or start your Legion Angel chain. Either one of those things, you can then punish the tap out basically with this card, so it's really useful. You can also hit Coma as well. If our opponent taps out and they've played a Coma before then the next upkeep comes around, you can Soul Shatter to make them sacrifice it. You can do it any time technically, but it's a really good way of getting around Coma, because otherwise it's kind of hard to hit that. If your opponent's empty-handed, then Flunk can kind of do its thing as well. But yeah, that's essentially going to do it for the deck tip portion of this video. If you do enjoy the content and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And as I said, we will be taking a little bit of a small break, I guess, from Standard 2022, just to explore the differences of the other formats that have always been here as well. So for those Brawl fans, those historic fans, we will be coming back for a little bit of that content. Still doing a little bit of Standard 2022 along the way as well. I've got plenty of things I want to play around with in this format, so this is definitely my favourite way to play Magic right now. But we will check out every other person's favourite way to play, I guess. But yeah, take care and enjoy the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, we're in, and this hand's, I think it's too expensive. Like, Rampage of the Valkyries is a really good card in this format, but we look to die before we get there at this rate, so I'm going to hit the mull on that one. And this one's a lot better. We've got a turn 3 play, either proactive or reactive, and then we still have that Rampage as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. We'll go down. I think a swamp. It's probably reasonable. Then we go snarl and decline as quickly as possible to let our opponent know that there's a chance that we don't have a swamp in our hand. Since we have no turn 1 plays, that seems totally fine to me. Could be the mirror with the Miria's Call here. Let's lead on with the Bright Climb pathway. If we get another snarl, we can get it to come into play untapped by holding the swamp. Otherwise, it's a good rule of thumb to play your basics out and then, you know, decide what side your pathway wants to go on after all of your unconditional colour sources are sorted. Yeah, I think we're up against angels, so this is going to be, I think, a case of who goes fastest, and, well, we get to go Valkyrie first. Let's see if they've got a Vanishing Verse of their own. Yep, okay. Well, we have an answer to their turn 3 play. If it's another Righteous Valkyrie, we can get rid of that. Might want to go with Soul Shatter, since we can target specifically with the Vanishing Verse, and it's a lot cheaper as well. Although, getting Youthful Valkyrie here means that I can go Verse plus Valkyrie, which is a little bit more efficient. I like that idea, I think. So, Valkyrie, it's worth paying 3 here to hit the Valkyrie, I think. Although it's nice to be at 27 life for the Righteous Valkyries. We've only got 3 left in our deck, so we're not going to be too reliant on that. And these decks gain life really quick if you do get that card out. So we have 1-for-1'd each other. And it's going to be a case of, well, in this situation, it's going to be a case, do I get my Rampage down? So we've got Rally, or we've got Soul Shatter here. If I don't kill this, my Youthful Valkyrie dies. So I think it's probably best that I kill it and get in for 1. Yeah, if our opponent makes their land drop and we miss ours, then we're in a lot of trouble. This is where play draw starts to turn against us a little bit. Any angel that comes down here will have double strike, but if we get the Rampage down, we make a 4-4 and we have our 2-4 Valkyrie at that point, both of which, when they die, they'll make our opponent sacrifice their creatures. They did get their 5th land drop, and they foretold a Starheim Unleashed. Okay. And unfortunately, we missed. But they don't get their Furger's... Is it Furger's? It's probably like Furger's Retribution. I think I'll just go with the Youthful Valkyrie here. It pumps up the Valkyrie the same way as Rally the Ranks does, except for this gets an extra angel into play for Rally to do more on the next turn, should we miss our land drop yet again. So let's game for 2. So I kind of like where we're at, but our opponent does have the ability to make 2 4-4s here. This is definitely a mana advantage kind of game. Because they've got an X spell ready to go here. They can only do it X2 with 1 mana left over. There it is. And we whiff again, so destined to lose, I guess. We can at least make our Youthful Valkyrie able to block, but is it able to survive a removal spell? That's the real question here. We could get blown out if, well, you can't necessarily get blown out. I was going to say if we block and they kill Rally instead of the Youthful Valkyrie, but we've added enough to it that that won't be the case. Yeah, I mean, they're getting ahead, but a Rampage can still turn this in our favor. We just need to actually draw our 5th land, and as you can maybe tell, that ain't happening. Keep the Vanishing Verse for a Rally of the Ranks. It's worth 4 damage, getting the Rally anyway, and obviously we can block as well, so it's probably worth more like 8. Alright, what have you got, opponent? They have drawn more lands than us, and they've made good use of it. It's whether or not their remaining cards make good use of it now, because if we draw a land, then we're playing our most mana-efficient moves. Question is our opponent playing 2 drops now with all of their mana? Gonna get in. So we're gonna block here, and I think we're just gonna hit a 4/4 here. We need to survive this game. Now, they could be attacking here just to make sure that whatever they play after resolves. You know, Resplendent Marshal, as have we. We do have, actually, a creature in the graveyard, so that's pretty good. If we're going to miss our land drops yet again, then this is a reasonable way to do it. Now our opponent trades quite poorly into our board state. And they know it. We miss our land drop again. How many land drops now is that we've missed? 4, 5, something like that. Yeah, we're just going to pass. I don't know if there's necessarily a reason to hold a Soul Shatter. I guess they could have a Legion Angel. But Legion Angel's kind of done its deed when... yeah, we're going to hit them here, I think. They've got no creatures in the yard, so their Marshal doesn't do anything. Finally, we have hit the jackpot. Rampage in. We're going to get in with our Youthful Valkyrie here, because a double block doesn't kill it. And then we've got 2 blockers back. If they had removal for 1, we don't die to the other. So now I would say we're in a pretty good spot. Removal spells are going to come back to bite them unless they have a rampage of their own. Now the flooding begins. Alright, well, let's do this and this. Since it's got vigilance, it's a nice easy attack here. Opponent has to block something. Perhaps it's even worth to getting in with the Marshal. I don't know. I just kind of want to play it a little bit safer, because I think we have a good chance of winning this game if we just play it safe. Get rid of the Righteous Valkyrie. Rampage gets rid of the last Angel. We hold our land as an unknown. And we should have this game in the bag. So Mana Flood is beaten by Mana Screw. It says good game. All their lands continuing to go. So we missed 4 or 5 land drops there. I honestly lost count. But the cards we were playing were more efficient on our mana. Our opponent didn't make good use of all the lands they were playing. So in the end, it was us who came out victorious on that one. So pretty sweet. Yeah, I think it's usually 50-50, I think, on play draw for Angels. It's whoever gets the most explosive and efficient starts, I think, usually wins the game. I honestly, when they were like efficiently pulling out 7 drops and they had the Starheim, I didn't really expect that we were going to win that, but I think the fact that we had Rally the Ranks and eventually Rampage of the Valkyries meant that our creatures are bigger than theirs. It's bad attacks for them, and even if they traded profitably, they still lose out on it. So yeah, we got them. On to the next game. Alright, we're on the play. We've got turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 plays as well, which is really nice. On the off chance we don't want to play our Valkyrie, we can always foretell as well. Who knows if we want to do that. Like, this could be a turn 3 play, this then could be turn 4, and then by turn 5 we've got these Angels gaining double strike, because we can do 2 Angels for 5 mana. That could be what we want to do. So we're going to play a Swamp, we're going to say go. It's all going to depend on what our opponent's playing around with here. I think we're definitely going to go with the Youthful Valkyrie here, though. Opponent's got Snow-Covered Mountain, which means we want to get it out of Frostbite range, so this is very likely to be the case that, well, they might have Dragon's Fire or whatever it's called. Yep, Dragon's Fire. Okay, so we're going to go Swamp, and I think we're going to go Righteous Valkyrie. All of these things can die to Dragon's Fire, because they can reveal a Goldspan Dragon. But we've got a good answer to Goldspan. Yeah, it's a pretty good answer to Dragon's Fire as well. They need a very specific dragon in their hand if Rally the Ranks wins here. Otherwise it's a 2-for-1 situation. I mean, I suppose they can get us now, but still. Future 4-4s are now 5-5s with Vigilance, and that's really good for us. They don't usually run bounce spells or anything of the sort. So we really want to hit a land here. Oof, mana screwed again. Right, well I'm going to have to hold up and Soul Shatter for Goldspan here. That's very likely what they're going to tap out with, assuming that when they attack or we remove, they get the treasure that they can use then to cast some more removal. I'm happy to wait on them as well if they really don't want to play anything. You actually have bounce magic? You'd be the first. Prismari Command, so it makes a treasure token. Okay. Sure. That means they can hold open 2 mana with the Goldspan Dragon coming down here. But their counter magic is Saw It Coming, which is 3 mana. So it really doesn't benefit them too much. We've got a Flunk. I think I'd much prefer going for Starheim for Told here. Really need a white source. I never struggled with mana issues up until today. And that'll be a Saw It Coming. Well, I just need lands. Just need lands. Let's play another Rally. Again, we don't really care if this gets countered. In fact, we'd much prefer it. And yeah, it's just going to be coming down to our next few turns. Do they have lands as part of their turn cycle? There's Goldspan, so 6 mana for them. I think I'm just going to lose to Mana Screw. Alrund's Epiphany, everyone's favourite. Get hit again. Yeah, it's too late for us now. Just in time, though, for the Saw It Coming. And we will scoop to that, because we are dead on board otherwise. Disdainful Stroke. Alright, well, mana screwed left, right, and centre. Our opponent thought it was a good game. I disagree. On to the next one. Alrighty, we're in on the play. I think this hand is fine as a 3-mana hand. We got removal, we got a proactive play on the play as well. Retribution, and then Starheim. So it's really nice when you can get the Starheim ready to go for Told before the Verge's Retribution, because then on turn 5 you can Starheim, get 2 4/4s, and it's ready for the Chapter 3. So I like this hand. I think it's possible we can get that done. See what our opponent says. What's your hand like, opponent? Is it great? It's probably great. Alright, so tap Lango. Probably reveal with the Snarl. They're on snow-covered plains. At the point of the recording here, the Book of Exalted Deeds is banned, so I'm kind of interested to see what snow-covered plains could be. I did mess around with a Flicker deck at one point, which was green-white, and it had snow mana. They're going to go with the Clarion Spirit, so they care about casting second spells. That's interesting. So if I wanted to, I could now foretell the Starheim Unleashed getting ready for the Retribution. Or I could just get rid of the Clarion Spirit. I kind of think taking Spirit out might be the best idea. There we go. And I'll definitely want to Vanishing Verse that as well. So now we could do the efficient play of kill Aspirant, which gets out of hand real quick. And set up our getting out of hand combo. There we go. We already have the 5 mana for the X2 on Starheim here. Well, Redain upsets that a little bit. For sure. Vanishing Verse would have been nice right about now. We're just going to stick this on white. So how much can we do that for now? Just the next one. It's kind of stinky, but yeah, we'll go Angel here. We'll pass the turn. We're going to have to hope to draw a land, I guess. If we draw a land, we're kind of on a less efficient, but still the same game plan scenario. Skyclave, what are you going to hit? The Youthful Valkyrie. Okay. I am fine with that as long as I draw a land. Tap land, though. Should have been more specific, I guess. Yeah, I think we're just going to X1 the Starheim Unleash then. I don't know, actually. Like, we take 4 for being greedy. Otherwise, we get the Retribution, which makes a 5/5. And then we still get the 2 5/5s this way. We could always have a Skyclave Apparition, but it can't hit tokens. It can only hit Rally of the Ranks. So the setup could be greedy. I think it's probably just safer to go the X1 here. Let's just get a threat on board that our opponent has to respect. We still get that untapped, and eventually we get to the Angels with double strike scenario. Wow. Okay, so it's expensive and more expensive. You got it. Well, at least we drew a land for it. Let's get in for 5. Opponent hasn't got a good attack here. Well, what I will say is I'm really glad we hit the Luminarch Aspirant, because that would have won them the game at this point in time. The fact that we're not doing enough and our opponent gets to put a counter every single turn that we do very little says quite a lot. So, what are we waiting for, really? A flunk would be okay. You're hitting me for 6 now, because you have a Blade Historian. I can take the 6 for now. Miria's Call. 3, 6, 7... Yeah, I guess we've got to do this. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Can survive the enemy on the ground. Now we can't. If they go down the right-hand side, yep, that's exactly enough. Oof. Oh, and Maul of the Skyclaves. Fair enough. Yeah, they still got us. Taxed out of the game. Got to attack with everything, and we're just dead anyway, no matter how we block. Oof, owie. On to the next one. Alrighty. We got a 4-lander. A little bit of a slow 4-lander, but we can take it. We're on the draw, so, you know, being slow is part of the, part of how this game now works. Am I going to want to play Amiria's Call? I don't think so. Let's just go Plains Go. Opponent looks to be on the mono-green list. Still looks to be on mono-green. Ranger class. Alright. Slow hand like this might be troublesome to race, but we're going to have some big creatures to slow them down in the early game at the very least. Name that Angel with that. And then we're going to go Righteous Valkyrie, I think, so that any damage we take around these early turns is going to be undone quite quickly. Varys. That is a reach creature. So we're going to go with the Righteous Valkyrie here. Then we're going to go with the Ferger's Retribution, gaining 5. Punch shouldn't be able to Blizzard Brawlers here. They get to Venture. Gonna go... That's the longest one, right? That's ambitious. Opponent thinks that Varys is going to be around for many, many turns. It only triggers once, remember. Alright, so I think we are going to go with the Ferger's Retribution as our option. It's going going to take us to 24. We could also do Flunk and Valkyrie. This is Ward 1, so this makes this 3 mana. We can take our opponent off of drawing cards, though. Kind of don't hate that. We gain life as well. Let's kill the pack leader. And with a 2/4, our opponent can make Varys a 3/3 by leveling up the Ranger class. 4/4, sorry. We're not likely to block that, I don't think, so let's get him for 3. And see if Verge's Retribution can kind of get us there. I mean, we could always try to take as little damage as possible by holding back here in hopes that we get to 27 life. And in which case, I don't think we ever reach a point where our opponent's creatures are bigger than ours. Got a Blizzard Brawl? Looks to be. Yeah. Alright. Now they can get him for 3. Rally the ranks. Okay, so we're going to go with Verge's Retribution. Make a 5/5. Then going to play this tapped. And I guess we're just holding back this time. We want to keep our life total as high as possible. We're also going to be able to pick off some creatures with the Chapter 2. And then we can start chaining some Legion Angels together. Especially if we get land, we go Legion Angel Rally and then put another Legion Angel into our hand. First time I actually cast Legion Angel in this deck, funnily enough. I just haven't seen it at all. Another Blizzard Brawl? Wow. Okay, well, they didn't read the card, which would explain the card. They need 3 snow mana in order for it to get the +1/+0. They've only got 2. But still, it's pretty crazy. I can't even BM you if I wanted to. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with the Rampage of the Valkyries here. If we lose a creature, they lose a creature. Make a 5/5. Level up the boys. Or the ladies in this case. And yep. Opponent leaves shamefully. I think that's a shame scoop more than a outplayed scoop. Although we are ahead, almost certainly. We've got Verge's Retribution giving us double strike next turn. The Varys can block. I don't know if they knew that. I can't actually kill it because I don't have the mana open to pay for the ward. But yeah, there's still a lot of damage nonetheless, and if they want to try and get me below 27, they're going to have to lose most of their board trying to do it. So I'm really, really happy with that spot, and yeah, on to the next game. Alrighty then, we're on the play. We don't do anything till turn 3. But our turn 3 play is not bad, and our mana's pretty good, so we're going to keep this one. I'm undecided how I want to play my mana. I think I actually do want to go Amiri's Call tapped here. The reason being is it looks like we're going to Starheim X2 at some point, so I want to get to that 5th mana. Might as well play this tapped. Decline. Oh, we took long enough there that our opponent might as well have just seen the planes in our hand. Skemfar Elder Hall. So our opponent is playing elves, I guess. Black-green elves. I don't know how they fare against us, but it'll be a first, so let's find out. Next turn we can Foretell plus Rally. Oh, Boreal Outrider. Well, now we're drawing a Righteous Valkyrie. I'm a little less inclined to go for the Foretell Rally. I think instead I want to just gain the 4 life, swing for 2, play this on black, and pass the turn. Then we can do Marshal plus Rally. Or Rally Marshal in this case, because then it will get the extra toughness point. Canopy Tactician, and in for 4. That's fine. So this on white. Then we play Rally on Angel, pumping up all of our Angels, and then Marshall gains 6. Oh, sorry, 8. So we are right up where we need to be. And our opponent knows it. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, well, we never got to see the Angels matchup, but I'm going to assume it's pretty good. And on to the next one. Alrighty, we're in, and we do have white mana. We've got the Amiria's Calls that we can play tapped here. This hand's a little slow and awkward, but other than that, it's got some pretty good removal against one of the best decks in the format, the Izzet Dragons list, which I feel sees more play than the actual best deck in the format, which is mono green. It's a bit weird, but yeah, people just like decks that I don't like more often, I guess. But yeah, we're going to keep this one. I'm going to be happy with it. And let's go. I think our opponent mulled. Let's see if we can have a non-dragons matchup. I absolutely love this format, but it's a bit of a shame that the best deck in the format is one that translated over from the standard format I left behind. And I partially left it behind because of Izzet Dragons. So it's a bit sad, but is what it is, I suppose. We're going to have to learn to live with each other. Isn't that right, Mr. Dragon? That's right. Okay, opponent's definitely a control player. Thinking long and hard about the first land drop they're going to make. Sign of a bad control player, so they have no idea what they're doing. Is that right? Is that wrong? Okay, there aren't many ramp sources, in Standard 22 right now. This is one of them. Sure. No comment on that. This can't be mono green though, right? We've got Lair of the Hydra, which looks very mono green-ish. Snow-covered forest would be their follow-up. It's a green-black deck. Maybe it's Sultai. Well, I'm going to keep playing some of my basics here because I don't really need to play these down just yet, but likelihood is that next turn I will go ahead and do that. So there goes the Dryad. It has to go get a forest, and it is snow-covered, so we have to work around Blizzard Brawl as a removal source. Opponent's going to learn and get Environmental Sciences, making their land drops. Okay. I'm going to have to find out soon whether or not it is actually a green-black deck or whether it is Sultai with, like, Coma. I think this is where we go Valkyrie, Amiria's Call tapped. Yeah. They don't have the double blue, I think, that Coma requires, but Soul Shatter is a very good answer to Coma. We catch it before they have any alternatives, like countering spells and things like that. Although this really just kind of snatches it up anyway, because it's the highest mana value, and Coma's pretty expensive. Opponent's giving us lots of time to catch up. So how are you doing, chat? Tell me your life story. I wish to know everything about your day. We're having a bit of a heat wave right now in the UK, which has its ups and downs. I certainly, oh god, even the game's crashing. I certainly enjoy the warm weather, but when it comes to recording footage, the hottest room in my home is the one where I record, which is less than ideal. But it is what it is. We gotta, oh, it is still green-black. What's the big green-black payoff? I honestly don't know. Well, let's pump up the youthful Valkyries here and get a Legion Angel out of our wish board. Boop. There we go. And I think that we're very much outpacing our opponent here. I guess they could have Shadow's Verdict. It would only get rid of my youthful Valkyries, though. So putting the Legion Angel down here allows me to maintain a aggressive board state. Something that Starheim Unleashed wouldn't allow me to do. There's no way that this deck isn't like a Shadow's Verdict kind of deck. So dumping Legion Angels one after the other is really going to come in handy, I think. There it is. Okay. Verger's Retribution. Now, I feel like I want to actually follow up with that first so that the Legion Angel can gain double strike in time. Let's see if they want to kill my Legion Angel first. We lose a 4-3 over a 4-4 with Flying and Vigilance if they choose to take the removal right then and there. So let's get you down. I'm probably going to go with the Emeria down here as well. So we could have a Rampage of the Valkyries. And yep, our opponent has had enough. The game was taking too long, apparently. And we managed to get there. So pretty good. Yeah, this deck is it's very good. And that's really good for Angels, because it's been a long time since they've been able to actually show themselves in the world of competitive Magic. But yeah, we've certainly arrived at this point. So many sweet cards, honestly, for this list. I really do love that we get to use Verger's Retribution and the Rampage of the Valkyries as well to make your opponent sack. It's something that's like unplayable outside of Brawl, and even in like Brawl it's questionable at best. But yeah, it's been really nice playing around with this deck, and I do love me some Angels. And yeah, this deck is sweet. I highly recommend it. Deck list will be down in the description. Hopefully I remember to do that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video though. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you've been playing in Standard 2022. We will be back with some more variable content as well, including Brawl and a little bit of Historic, and actually a deck I have brewed up in Old Standard. It's probably going to be the only Old Standard video that you see from me. But there is a combo I really want to try out, and it unfortunately requires cards that are not in Standard 22 to work with. So very excited to try that deck out. Hopefully it works, hopefully it's fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy. But yeah, take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.